Welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast that helps business coaches to micro-niche, get noticed, and become fully booked. Learn from top industry leaders who've successfully taken their businesses and their lives beyond six figures. Get ready to level up your coaching business and make this world a better place, one business at a time. And now, here's your host, Ziv Raviv.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Six Figures. Today's guest is someone who's been helping entrepreneurs break through plateaus and build legacies for over 17 years. Angie Dobransky is the founder of RAD Strategic Partners, a powerhouse business coach, speaker, and author known for turning complexity into clarity and mindset into momentum. She's the author of 52 Steps to Radical Success, a no-fluff week-by-week blueprint for building both a thriving business and a meaningful life. And if that's not enough, she's also the co-author of the inspiring anthology, Life Lessons in Success. From the boardrooms of New York's fashion industry to coaching retreats in Baja, Angie brings a rare blend of grit, grace, and grounded strategy, whether you're stuck at six figures or scaling toward your next big breakthrough. Angie is about to show you what radical success really looks like. Angie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to talk with a veteran and a worker, someone that actually got the mileage behind them to prove their ideas. I'm wondering, just recently you published an article about how selling is not a dirty word and people shouldn't be afraid of that. Let's start with, what's your opinion about selling specifically, if you don't mind, for business coaches?
Sales is a life skill, right? Which is something I truly believe. And I think, people have this impression of selling is pushing your product on people that don't need it. That's the dirty, in the United States, used car salesman model, right? But selling in coaching, particularly, is helping someone solve their problems or realize their dream or achieve their vision. It's helping them to get where they need to be. And so when you're selling from a coaching perspective, I'm not pushing anything on anybody, right? I'm having a conversation with them. They're sharing with me where they're stuck, where their frustration, what their dream is. And I'm showing them how I can help them achieve it. I'm solving their problem for them.
And what about selling the actual service of a business coach? Like when you talk with someone and you know that the best solution for them is to work with someone like you, to work with a business coach, someone that can actually guide them through a long-term process of fulfilling their potential. But it still feels like selling sometimes.
Sort of, except, I don't sell packages. Most coaches sell packages, right? I'll sell you 3 months of coaching or 12 sessions or whatever. But I don't sell packages because I say to people, I'm going to help you realize your dream. So I just charge a monthly. I say you're just going to pay a monthly retainer for as long as you want to. And we'll work together for as long as that works for you. That is, once I've said to them, I can help you do this. You've told me your problem. I can help you do this. If you want me to help you do this, you'll just pay me some money every month. We'll do that as long as you want, and I'll be your partner for success. And I really mean that too, by the way. My clients have unlimited access to me. They can send a text or a call whenever they want because I am their partner. And it doesn't feel like selling when you say that, right? It's like we're going to enter into a relationship, and these are the terms of the relationship.
Well, just like any relationship, there's a process. You don't go directly to the step where you offer them, let's partner. Partnering is very much like marriage. There has to be like a huge amount of trust, and there's a process. What's the process for your client to build up that trust in the relationship with you when you get to the point where you can actually tell them that actually you can partner with them on such a retainer? So
I always start with just a free coaching session, right? And for me, it's not a free coaching session that's really a sales session. It's a free coaching session. So our first session is an actual coaching session. We're going to get on. I'm going to ask you, give me the short story of where you are. Tell me where you want to be. tell me what your major obstacle is right now. And in that conversation, I'm saying, oh, I can help you with that obstacle. Let me give you examples of how I've helped other clients with that obstacle, right? Oh, yes, your dream is we're having a conversation. I'm coaching them. And at the end, I'm basically most of the time, they're like, that was amazing. And I'm like, would you like to talk about how to continue doing this? And, it's just a very nice transition. And also in a weird way, because I don't sell packages and I don't lock them into a contract, they can test out coaching 1 month at a time, right? For one retainer at a time. And until they just, and honestly, my clients stay with me for years. So the model works pretty well.
Love it. I want to dive into the details of what happens next. So they went through a session. It was an actual session, actual coaching session. They've learned a lot. You opened up their eyes. You asked them questions about where they are and where they want to go. And you suggested ways to overcome the hurdles that are blocking them. And they say, yes, that sounds interesting. I want to learn more. What happens next?
I literally say, great, let's schedule your first session, right? We'll pick a day and time that works for you. Most of the time, we schedule it right there. You don't let any time get in the way, by the way. We put it on the calendar. And then again, I don't use contracts, right? So I just say to them, I'm going to email you a credit card form. In our first session, I'll collect that information from you, right? And I'll charge you that day and then monthly going forward. And so I very much closed the sale very definitively, right? We've put a date on the calendar. Now, once in a while, they won't show up, right? They'll just disappear, but that's very rare. And again, this way, I've gotten them to lock in because I've sent them a calendar invite for our repeated coaching sessions immediately, put it right on their calendar. And then so the first session, we get their credit card information and we're off.
So I have to ask, do they know the costs?
Yes, we have discussed it because I do have different levels of packages, which basically like a weekly meeting or a bi-weekly meeting, or there's a larger package if you're a bigger company and I'm, doing maybe working with some other people and doing some other things as well. So we've already discussed, we've had a conversation about what's right for them. And I've, of course, sort of guided them. And like normally, if they're almost a solopreneur, so they have very few, just a couple of employees, I'm almost always pushing them into the bi-weekly session, the lowest package, right? Because I actually know that's right for them. They can't keep up with the weekly coaching because they have too much to do in their business. Whereas when I know they have a team, that we can get real fast progress with the weekly coaching because they're delegating out the stuff to their team.
What leads someone to make the decision to hop on that complimentary call initially? How do they actually? So let's move from sales to marketing.
The most recent batches of clients I've brought in have come in, either they've had a friend who was a business owner and worked with a coach, and they were confiding in their friend, and their friend was like, you should hire a coach. So that's one way. But I'll tell you the primary way, hilariously, is the spouse. They come home and they talk to their spouse about all the issues they're having in business, and their spouse is very willing to listen and really can't help them. And at some point they'll say, why don't you find somebody that can listen and help you? That's their motivation, right?
And what a powerful motivation it is, because someone that is your partner actually is telling you, you need a partner in business to help you with that. And what are some of the things you do to let people know about your brand?
So I do market very heavily and very regularly online. I have 2 videos a week, generally on YouTube. I write an article every week. I have a newsletter. I do social media posts. So all that stuff, all of it, people want to pretend they don't need to, but they do. Your email list is your number one way to convert clients in the end, because you're just gathering people in there and you're staying in front of them until they're ready. Because sales and marketing is a bit of luck and timing, because you have to see my marketing message when you know you need my product. So the email works very well. I do a fair amount of speaking at conferences and things. I'm tied into my local university, who puts me in front of a few number of people. I belong to a group here or there. And I'll tell you, one of my most successful strategies this year is a bi-monthly webinar on Eventbrite. So every other month, a very strong webinar. I pay to market it. I can get a couple hundred people every other month to show up and go into my email list. And usually a few of them will book a session right afterwards. So that has been a powerful strategy for me this year.
Nice. Can you give us an example of one of the webinars that you've done?
One of the most recent ones I did was basically build a dream team, how to scale your business without burning out.
Wonderful, which is, I saw the topic and I was interested immediately. So it worked. You chose a strong topic that I thought, my clients need to listen to this. I need to learn more about this. So
I used AI to help me come up with the topics for the year. AI, here's everything I'm an expert in. Let's come up, here's my target market. What are some good topics? And then, it generates a big list. Then you pick the ones you like. And I have to say, it's been very successful this year.
Wonderful. So you do these webinars on Eventbrite. You mentioned that you invest money into advertising it. Is that through Meta or through Eventbrite? Where do you put the money?
My best results are through Eventbrite.
And then everything is done through Eventbrite. The webinar is free. It's a free event on Eventbrite. And how much do you spend a month on advertising?
So it's only every other month, right? And I've learned I only advertise it a few weeks in advance because it does not pay to advertise a webinar too far ahead because the people who sign up a long time ago won't even show up. Honestly, the closer you sign up, the more you will. So I spend about $200 to get a couple hundred people to register for my webinar. I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
It's almost free. It's pretty much free. Like if you try to do the same thing on Meta, I estimate it will probably cost 10 times more.
Right. I do. I think you're right.
Yeah. And not necessarily even the same quality of people too. So you feel Zoom, you do this through Zoom. How do you do the actual webinar?
I do it on Zoom and I live stream it on YouTube. That's because that's a really easy way to give people the replay, plus get it out there for other people to see it. So
that's wonderful. So your email list keeps on growing, right? And another 1,000 people a year, like just or more through those webinars. And you don't really need like tens of thousands of people.
I only work with 20, 25 people at a time. And most of my clients stay for years. I only need to pick up at this point, like 5 or 6 clients a year to maintain that level. Now, to get to that level is a different story, but to me, at this point, so how many leads do I need to get 5 or 6 clients a year?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Honestly, probably 600 or 1,000, but when you feed them all through. But
yes. So I was about to say something like, if you need 5 clients a year, you'll probably do 10 strategy sessions. Right, like 10 free complementary sessions, and that will fill it out. So to get those 10, if you're doing those 5 events, 100 each, right, and so you'll get there. Wonderful. So what is exciting for you? Like what type? Maybe there's a specific client that you're seeing that they're getting more results, or maybe it's a specific process that you're very proud of. What is something that you do with your clients that makes you excited to wake up and show up and shine?
So I will tell you that all my clients have some vision for their business, right? I don't really work with people who are just trying to earn a living, right? And if their vision for their business is salary-based, that's not a real vision, right? So I really, in the beginning, spend a lot of time with my clients. What do you really want here? Like, what are you trying to create and why? And we surprise them in the beginning by questioning the why. Why do you want that? Where did that number come from? Why do you want to build $1 million business? Why do you want this, right? And sometimes they go, wow, what a good question. I never thought about it, right? And part of it is to really understand if their vision is their vision or the vision they believe they're supposed to have. And I think that's kind of the crux of why my coaching is successful, because we really do get tied in with the vision. And I've done this a long time, and I recognize as we grow, our vision changes too. And so I do regularly check in with my clients. Is this still what you want?
Love it. I love it. Let's talk about your retreats. It can be a lot of work to actually produce a retreat. There's so many details to look at. And I wonder, where did it start? Why did you decide to do it? Or what's exciting about it for you?
Well, we decided to do it because I bought this land in Baja, California, Mexico, and I'm building a house on it. And when you're there, you're so far out of your comfort zone that your mind works in a different way, right? And I kind of recognized that right on. And so as I was thinking I wanted to move to Mexico, and this was a long time ago, so I wasn't fully on Zoom at that point, and trying to figure out how I could transition my business, I was like, I could do retreats. I just bring my clients here, right? So that was kind of where the idea came from. And then in doing the retreats, we bring a small group of people together and we spend a half a day every day doing really deep. What do you want? What is your vision? That's the idea, is to come out with a plan for where you're going to go. But we also spend the other half a day, because it's in this wild and wonderful place, doing things people have never done before. So we might take a surf lesson. We might ride a horse up onto the mountain, right? We might meditate at sunset on the top of a hill, so every day there's a very unusual activity. And it's just your mind is in a different place. It's amazing. I did one right before COVID hit. So in January of 2020, and there were 6 people and they all came out with this vision. And I will say in COVID, they all reached out to me. Thank God we did that retreat. We're like so prepared for this. But I also noticed within 2 years, like each one of them hit whatever major goal it was. And, they were varied. Some were business goals. One woman was like, I'd really like to get married again. And she made a list of exactly the type of man she would want to marry. She was Greek Orthodox. She wanted to marry somebody that was Greek Orthodox, blah, blah, blah. Met and married that guy, right? Like, it was really interesting. And I think because the retreats are really, you're going to go deep inside yourself and figure out what the heck you want. And then you'll be very motivated to come back and make it happen.
Do you have any preference when you coach people where you kind of prefer something about them? It could be maybe you like to work with certain types of business owners, or maybe it's the type of industry that you have a preference, or even a personal preference related to some demographic, like you connect better with women or anything of that sort?
Not too much, except that I know who I don't work well with, right? Like the clients I work well with, they're motivated and they're outgoing. I'm not that great with the very reserved client, mostly because I have high energy and it is difficult for me. And I do it, right? But I am like very consciously trying to slow down to their energy and give them the space and the time they need. I like the client where I'm like, so have you ever thought of this? And then they jump in. They're like, yes. And we can have a whole conversation about it, versus the client where I'm like, have you ever thought of this? And then I got to wait 5 minutes for them to think it through and come up with an answer.
Is there some preparation that you need to do towards the meeting?
I do prepare for the meetings. I do use AI to take good summary notes of every meeting. So I do go back and review the notes. Sometimes something that's come up in the meeting might have me go do some research. So I do prepare, not a lot. If you're meeting with somebody every week, you're in relationship, but I am doing some preparation, yes. And I do have the AI notes sent to the clients. So we're both using the same set of to-dos and stuff, which is really helpful.
What's the size of your team?
It's just me and a part-time assistant.
What's exciting recently with AI that like is changing the way you do things or the way that you advise to your clients?
It's like unbelievable. AI is so amazing. So we'll start with the notes, right? Like now we all have much better notes because the AI is taking the summary and sending the notes, and that's fantastic. So that's the simplest way. But like I have a client right now that has a very difficult situation that they need to resolve. And I was using AI to ask for how would you coach someone through this? What kind of questions should I ask? Just having it in this specific situation, give me some good coaching questions. Super cool, right? And from a content creation, I use AI to create these topics for my webinars that do get clicks. I use it to help me with my writing. The way I write now is I'm like, here's my thought, and I write it all out, and then I go make it beautiful. And it's not creating my content, but it's polishing my content.
Have you ever dabbled with online courses?
Not yet. My book is a natural online course. So that's the next sort of evolution of that.
Yeah, it really is, because it's 52 different lessons with the weekly plan, basically. When you wrote your book, were you hoping for business owners to read it, or was that more of like a book for anyone?
It's mostly for business owners and business people, I would say, right? So like, you don't have to own the business. If you're not a business person, like 60% of the book will apply to you, right? But if you are a business person, the whole book applies to you.
I see, of course. Can you tell us like that life lesson in success story that you co-authored, just so that we kind of get to know more about you?
So I tell the story in the book. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. And the reason was that I came home at age 7 and I told my teacher had told me I should go to college and change my life. And my parents were very proud of me, but they didn't support me in doing that. They supported me emotionally, but they didn't understand the whole experience. So I worked my way through college. That's the short story. And then I succeeded in fashion. I went out to the fashion world and I had this great career in fashion. And then I had this crisis moment, right, in the corporate fashion world. And I decided to go out and start my own business. And it never even occurred to me that I might fail, because really up to that point, that's why I told you the short background, I hadn't failed at any goal I'd ever set. I just, no matter how hard it was, I made it happen. And so I started my coaching business in July of 2007, which seemed like such a good time to start a business. The economy was so strong and we all had so much money. Yeah. And then we all know what happened in 2008. And so really by the fall of 2009, I was essentially bankrupt. I did not have next month's mortgage payment in the bank. And my kid was 16 years old and I was a single parent. So I had a little reckoning with myself, right? What are you going to do? And I knew I was supposed to do this. I knew I was supposed to be a business coach. And so I said, you're just going to make it happen. And I did the thing that was scaring me so much, which was to get on the phone, because I had developed a paranoia. And for 30 days, I picked up the phone and I called 10 people, 10 business owners every single day. And I made $16,000 that month in retainers. So it was an absolute turning point for my business.
These days, do you ever pick up the phone?
No.
You don't need to.
I mean, I answer it when they call, right? But I would, I guess, if I had to.
Of course. Do you often recommend your clients to do something like that?
The challenge now, because realize that was 17 or 18 years ago, the phone is not as effective as it was, because it's very difficult to get people to answer the phone. But I guess the uncomfortable thing, and this would be really uncomfortable for me, the uncomfortable thing I would suggest a client do, or coaches that are listening now, is what do they call it? Slide into people's DMs.
Yeah. That's the equivalent. You could actually do that. You could go on an outreach offense type of trying to build relationships with people you don't actually know.
Yeah. That's what I would recommend, is the modern version of what I did.
Angie Dobransky, this is such an amazing story, how you went from almost losing everything, being a single mom, trying to do your thing after a crisis in your corporate career in fashion, and then just 30 days of calling 10 people have changed your life forever, one might say. What can people do to learn more with you, connect with you, follow after you, so that they can learn about those webinars, those trainings? What can people do?
So they can visit my website, which is radstrategic.com. And you should have a banner at the top if you sign up for my newsletter, which is, by the way, all value. It'll come to you weekly. So that's a nice way to stay in touch. You can also book a call there if you want some coaching on where you're going. And I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, so you can find me out there.
And we're going to put in the show notes on our website all of the links to the TikTok and the LinkedIn and everything. So if people want to just be inspired and follow you, they'll be able to do that, including join your email list. Thank you so much, Angie Dobransky, for sharing your secrets here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Six Figures. Check out the extended show notes that include bonus material, practical tips, and exclusive resources on our website, zivraviv.com. Until next time, keep dreaming big and pushing your business and your life beyond six figures.